Yeah.
It's pretty much Frankenstein's monster of every best aspect of an API you can ask for put into one in terms of both efficiency as an API and also for dev experience.
And Frankenstein is a positive thing, right?
Frankenstein's a great thing.
Just
He wasn't the monster. Frankenstein was just the great scientist. The monster was the monster. So Frankenstein, we love him.
Yeah. Hi everyone, and welcome to Self-Storage Explained. I'm David, head of product at Stora, and I'm here with Petr and Jamie from the API team. And today we're going to be talking about all things API related. Hello, chaps. How are you?
Hello.
For people who don't know what an API is, we work with them all day, every day. How would you explain it in everyday terms for a self-storage operator?
So a public API is essentially a way for two services to communicate with each other. So you can consider it as us extending what we are capable of. So where usually users have to wait until we support a feature, they don't have that anymore. They are no longer confined in any way, shape or form. They can go and develop any solution they need. So they'll be able to retrieve any data they require. They'll be able to manipulate the data in any way they see fit to fit their solutions. I believe one of the use cases that we have looked at so far was contacts.
Yep. So yeah, absolutely. So there are many use cases covered in the public API. One of the most common ones is being able to sync contacts to and from external CRMs. We hear that a lot because a lot of people, especially larger operators, they'll use tools like HubSpot or even as big as Salesforce to house a lot of their contact and customer information. And so with the public API, you're going to be able to sync those contacts back and forth, which is pretty exciting. It means you don't have to manage things in two places, right? We hear that a lot. So you're going to be able to pull contacts out of Stora, sync them to tools like HubSpot, and push other extra leads that come into your system to your CRM of choice, and keep that data in sync, most importantly, because people have workflows built off the back of those things happening. So contact gets updated, something happens in a CRM. Maybe they get an email, maybe they get an SMS. So it's about connecting these systems so that they can stay in sync.
It extends their automated flows, basically.
Yep, exactly. You're going to be able to automate things like lead follow-up. But there are many other use cases covered in the public API. That's just one of them.
We also pay a lot of attention to basically allow building custom order flows.
Yep.
It means that we have several ways how to handle them.
Yep.
And basically allow anyone to build their own sites with their own booking flow.
Yeah, this is one that really excites me because since I joined Stora almost 2 years ago, the customer base has changed. Right? So, in the early days, we had smaller operators using Stora, and they were, very happy with the Stora website that they'd get out of the box. And a lot of customers still are. So, it works really well, converts well. But some customers have a very opinionated view of what they want the customer experience to be. They want to own that, and that's great. And they want more control and flexibility. And that's what the API gives them. So you're going to be able to build your own custom booking flow, which I think is it's going to be a big unlock for those operators who care about the customer experience. So build a full booking experience outside of Stora, but powered by Stora in the background. So they're going to be able to read things like availability of units, pricing, insurance, products, discounts. They're going to pull all that information directly from Stora and present it whatever way they want, which is, I think, the ultimate flexibility. And that's one of the use cases that we're internally and externally very excited about.
I think the key takeaway from that is it is essentially allowing flexibility to have bespoke solutions.
Yeah, totally. Full control over the booking experience, and you still get all the value Stora out of the box. Like building a custom booking flow sounds like a big thing. Like, was that a challenge for you guys on the API engineering team to expose all those endpoints? Like, how was that? What was that experience like?
It was easy enough. A week tops, I suppose, wasn't it?
Easy peasy.
Because there's lots of data there, right? I know I just rhymed it off. I says unit availability, pricing, protection, insurance, products.
Exactly. There are a lot of flexibility that we provide, and we also built many ways how to handle them, from making and booking from a single request, that's maybe too technical, to basically pre-build booking or order and then finalize it when it's needed.
See, I don't think that's interesting. So you talked about creating a booking with a single request. Like, why does that matter? Why the fact does a single request matter?
As I mentioned, it's about flexibility. So you can have it. You maybe want to have it as fast as possible, and make it as efficient as possible, so you can put everything what you need from custom products, from the protections, multiple units. It's about flexibility. That there is no, in terms of orders, a fixed flow that must that everyone must follow. So as I mentioned, we can do it one request. That means that they can gather all the information from their custom flow and then send us one request, and we will handle the rest. Or they can make it gradual and just add products, add unit types, protection levels, and then build it. And when they are satisfied with what they can see, what they did, they can finalize it, and then it will be processed at Stora.
So it sounds like we've thought hard about how easy it is to work with as a.
That was one of our main goals, to make it easy to use, basically pay attention to the developer's experience, because in the end that matters, how easy anyone can build and use the public API.
Yeah, and we know that because we work with APIs every day. But why does the storage operator care if it's easy for the developer to work with?
Well, if they want their product shipped timely, if they want it to be shipped cost efficient, if they want to encounter as little roadblocks as possible, then a good, concise, intuitive API is an essential. So you have a use case where you have a very convoluted, not conform to any standard API. You're going to have the documentation is going to be hard to read. It's not going to be intuitive. Any developer is going to have some time trying to even just understand it, let alone implement it. So one thing that we done was we developed it with the standard Open API specification. That means multiple things for us. There is tooling around it, which allows us to produce documentation as interactive. Now, why should I care about that? As a developer, if you have interactive documentation, you can, in real time on one page, test real life situational data, work against it, learn it. It should be the case that I don't need to read documentation. I just go on, I interact with it, and I learn how it works through that. That's the dream. Don't read documentation. Just use it, give it a shot, see how it works. You don't need to be technically literate. You can feed an LLM our documentation. You can query against the AI LLM and have any of your queries answered.
You can also look at it inside that you can have amazing API with all features you can imagine, but if it's very hard to use, it will be also very hard to build stuff with that API.
In terms of how we thought about the API and how we thought about building it and our key features and philosophy, without going too deep, like what makes our API, what makes the Stora public API different to other software providers in the space?
So when we did the initial research for it, we realized that just by making our public API public, we will make it a huge difference. So we'll make our documentation publicly available for everyone with guides and knowledge base.
Yeah, it's a bit of an alien concept for us, I think, to go looking for public documentation and it not being public. It seems to be something that the industry is catching up with a little bit, but I think we're getting there when we're probably going to change that.
I can say that I was surprised that for the company that is on the market for more than 5 years, there is no public API.
Yep.
So David, what's the reason why?
Yeah, it's good. It's a really good question. A few reasons. One, the type of customer that we are now attracting and that are coming on board with Stora is changing. It's changed a lot in the last year specifically. So the types of operator joining Stora, and we're seeing a more sophisticated customer. We're seeing a larger customer, and it's not that we've never been asked to make an API public before. We've just decided to prioritize other things over it. Also, I think there's been a lot of change in the industry. So, we're seeing more automation, more tools. Things like AI are driving people's expectations through the roof. Everyone's a vibe coder now. Everyone thinks they can build software, which is part of the challenge that we're going to have as well. But the main reason that now is the right time to build the API or to make the API public was the type of customer that we're onboarding and the customer that we're attracting, and I think that's the core reason.
That was really beneficial for us because thanks to the knowledge, basically the domain knowledge, we were able to make, again, the public API more user-friendly because we were able to name things properly, even though we may have them implemented not that great.
Yep.
It's still allowing us to use the proper naming, the consistent naming across the public API and make them easy to use.
Yeah, we didn't want to rush it, and it felt like, I felt like the right time for, we had the domain knowledge, we had the expertise, we built up enough experience in the industry to know how to structure it, how to architect it, how to name it, and with the type of customer that was onboarding, it just felt like the right time to invest in that, and with AI being such a hot topic right now as well, it felt like the right time to open up some data so people can start extending the system. Give me an example of an API that isn't easy to use. Don't name names, but what makes an API not easy to consume or work with?
Good API provides an open API specification. That's basically describing what the API does, what are the requirements, what data you can get from it. So if you don't have this kind of specification, you don't know exactly what to expect. So you need to read sites, you need to read pages where it can be very hard to read, to understand what's required, what is the response, and how the data are used.
Interesting.
I think in essence, a good API is one that you don't need to go into explicit detail reading the manual. If you can intuitively use it, then you've achieved good API.
Yep. So it's about convention and standards.
Yeah.
Okay. Where do you both see the API in, say, 12 months' time?
Well, we've been working on it for 6 months now, so hopefully in 12 months' time it will be fully implemented, fully integrated with many storage operators, and they're really enjoying it. It's reliable.
That's a good point. More activation, more people using it.
From a product point of view, where would you see it in 12 months?
Yeah, it's a good question. Like everything that we do at Stora, we're going to take customer feedback on board. So I think between now and the next 3 months, we will be taking that feedback on board when people are consuming the API and working with it. From there, I would imagine it, like all products, there will be changes, right? And we will get feedback on specific features, specific endpoints. We're also going to make the API easier to work with and consume without needing a developer. So we're going to make it more no and low code friendly. That means tools like Zapier, Make, N8N, who knows what other low and no code tools people will be using in 12 months' time. But if I were to summarize it, I would say more endpoints, more use cases, and easier to work with. The feedback has been, amazing. I can finally get this data out of Stora and do stuff with it. The feedback is, this seems nice and easy to work with. So it's positive feedback so far from developers who are reading our documentation. And the other part is, in 12 months' time, we may have multiple APIs. Who knows, right? Public API is one flavor, right? We may have different APIs. We could have
non-public API.
We could have non-public, yeah.
Private API.
Private API. We could have enterprise API. We could have smart entry API, but who knows? But for now, it's strap in, see what the feedback is, and implement stuff based on that. Is there any part of the project they're really proud of? I can think of one from
versioning. I think we done a great job, or you done a great job of versioning, really. No, I really do.
For me, it was my first experience to build something from scratch.
Yep.
Completely.
Yep.
So I was able to use my years of experience to finally build something that I'm proud of.
Yep.
From versioning to open API specification, expandable resources, error handling, everything.
Yeah.
It's pretty much Frankenstein's monster of every best aspect of an API you can ask for put into one, in terms of both efficiency as an API and also for dev experience.
And Frankenstein is a positive thing, right?
Frankenstein's a great thing.
He
wasn't the monster. Frankenstein was the great scientist. The monster was the monster. So Frankenstein, we love him.
Yeah. I'm proud of the fact that we're making it public. I think that's going to drive the industry forward. I think this is one of the things. This is one of the reasons why the industry does move forward. Is people share ideas, people share things publicly. And in my limited years in self storage, it's one of the things that I find most interesting is that people are willing to share things that work for them and their ideas. And I think software vendors should do more of that. So that's one of the things from a product and a positioning, a company point of view that I'm proud of.
The fact that we're making it public means that we can get better feedback.
Yes.
Because it's there for everyone. So any developer who would like to enter the self-storage and use our API, they can look at it and they can send out feedback, and we can work with that.
Great.
Ultimately, it's really cool to release a public API, but hopefully it's going to lead into more exciting new products in the future, like, for instance, possibility of enterprise or B2B APIs, who knows?
Yeah, I think if I had to guess, I'd say we're going to end up with multiple APIs, but we'll see.
And bash the public API in 6 months.
Okay.
Give us a year. I don't know what we can do then.
Thanks for watching, everybody. If you're curious and want to learn more about Stora API or how our API can power your operations, then visit stora.co, go to the API section, or get in touch with us at hello@stora.co. Thanks.
Thank you.
At Stora, our mission is to help our customers build the best self-storage businesses. Self-Storage Explained is here to try and bring you the best from inside and outside the industry to help you grow your business. If you want to find out a bit more resources, go to stora.co to sign up for a demo or find out more, or you can go to stora.co/academy for lots more resources, including our financial model and other in-depth guides to setting up and growing your business.